All right, enough FA Cup final. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Manchester United beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 to consolidate third place. Bruno Fernandes equals the assist record held by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. Jules?
Yeah, he's on 20 now. He's got one more game. Brighton away next weekend on Sunday to try to break the record. We've said it before already. I think it would be an incredible achievement for him to beat those two, especially, although nothing will ever beat number 9 like Thierry to give that many assists in a Premier League season. But anyway, while still scoring all those goals at the same time.
Ooh, shots fired.
But yeah,
Bruno Fernandes.
I know, but that's obvious. You know, Bruno's job is to assist players, right? Thierry's job is to score goals.
I mean, you could also make the point, though, that this is more broadly, not just about this season, that when I look at De Bruyne and Thierry Henry, they had tremendous players around him who scored lots of goals, like Bergkamp, whatever. Bruno Fernandes at United, and because I looked at like the last couple of years, one thing about assists is that I think Bruno and Jared Bowen, possibly soon to be relegated Jared Bowen.
Well, yeah,
I think they're the only players who were in the top 10 this year and last year for assists. Assists for most players, they're up, they're down. It's
no, for sure.
So to be so consistent is pretty remarkable.
It's incredible.
But yes, I'm not suggesting Bruno Fernandes is a better player than Thierry Henry.
I think he's been incredible this year, and I even think he could have had another one or two, even in the last game, especially more than the Sunderland one away. Wonderful. I don't really mind if he breaks the records or not next week. I hope for him it will be a great achievement, and for United fans. And then maybe I think Bruno then will be recognized or more valued than I think what he is right now in this country.
The Mbumo handball, correct decision?
I was convinced it was going to be given. I think for me, he controls without his arm, he doesn't control the ball. So
yeah,
I can see why. I know the rule. What the rules say, I know, but for me, this has to be given.
Everybody lost their mind over this.
Yeah,
and I think
too much probably.
Once you decide that it's unintentional, a lot of time passes between them and the shot, because remember, he controls it, he shoots, the ball comes off, it deflects off another player, and then it goes to, was it Cunha who scored, right? So I think that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Let's rewind to Friday. Aston Villa clinched their Champions League spots, beating Liverpool 4-2. Jules, Arne Slot says his team crumbled. A few hours later, Mo Salah takes to social media to say pretty much the same thing, that they're crumbling and they should play heavy metal football. Mo Salah gets killed for his comments, especially by people like Wayne Rooney. And Arne Slot is just, look, he's being honest and not very good.
So I thought Liverpool were embarrassing at times in that second half, especially. Really embarrassing. Really not good enough again. I've said it many times for the last few weeks. Arne Slot should not be staying in that job next season. By keeping him, you reward mediocre results and mediocre football and mediocre performance. And if you give me the line of, but look, he won the title last season. Okay, they were not very good last season. We said they were better than everybody else, but it was not a good Premier League season campaign in general. From February onwards, they were
tailed
very
off.
Average anyway. But
that's why they changed all the players.
They were still saved by the Salah incredible season and performances, Van Dijk and Gravenberch to a certain extent. So I'm not sure how much credit that gives him anyway. But for me, he should not be there next season. He hasn't been good enough, and I might be wrong. And I hope for Liverpool and Liverpool fans that I am wrong. If he has an amazing season next season, I would say, okay, sure, it was the right call to keep him. For now, I don't believe it's the right call to keep him. And I completely agree with what Mo Salah said. This is the shadow of the team that we saw under Klopp. It doesn't mean that Slot has to do what Klopp did. Sure, I understand that. But this is not good enough for sure.
Can you understand why Salah is getting killed? I mean, I was on the FC show last night.
It's a bit selfish. I get that. But then
you don't even mention Slot by name. You're talking about...
because you don't like him.
But you're talking about how the season's been embarrassing. Let's hope that we can get back to being great again. And I'm leaving, by the way.
True, but this is against Slot. Even without mentioning Slot, this is a dig at Slot. So I can see what people say is a bit selfish, but why wouldn't he's Salah? He's one of the greatest players in the club history. He's not happy, and I think he's allowed to say it like that.
Newcastle rolled a 3-1 win over West Ham. Jules, it's not over yet, but this is a huge boost for Spurs and our boy Roberto De Zerbi.
Massively.
How could West Ham get it so wrong against a team with nothing at stake?
Yeah, mistakes. I would not have played the back five in this game like Nuno did, I have to say. And he changed things after 20 minutes because they were 2-0 down after two mistakes. Well, certainly the first one. Two bad goals to concede when you're in that kind of position. And when you've been solid. And to be fair, after that, probably also because Newcastle, knew they were going to win the game. West Ham was not bad, but Tati has been one of your best players since he arrived in January.
Nice
Don't bench
goal,
him.
too.
Yeah, don't bench him, please. It was a big mistake. I think this one is a bit on Nuno, and probably the players, the pressure got to them. Bad result, and now Spurs only need 1 point really because their goal difference is so much better than West Ham. 1 point in 2 games for Spurs between the Chelsea game away on Tuesday and the home game against Everton on Sunday. They're not going to not do it. So Spurs will stay up, and West Ham will go down. And West Ham have done it. Don said down Monday last week. They kind of used to going down and back up, but still, it's bad news for the club, and they have to be careful.
I want to give a shout out to Newcastle as well. They've had nothing to play for a long time. We know the wheels are coming off. PSR, players leaving, Anthony Gordon linked to Bayern and whatnot. But the way every game they go out there and they put in maximum effort, that's a credit to the fans who obviously set the tone for the club, and to the players as well. Jules, we saw the wildest of endings in the Scottish Premier League. Hearts were 3 minutes plus injury time away from becoming the first team not named Rangers or Celtic to win the title since 1985.
Yeah, you feel for them, really. They've been the best team by far in Scotland this season. They were, I think the last time Celtic were top of the table was back in September. We explained it on Thursday show, but not just since Aberdeen in 1985, but Hearts hadn't won the league title since 1960. This is the third time they lose the title on the last game of the season. It's not, no pun intended, but it's heartbreaking for them, obviously. You saw how much the players and took it, the fans as well. That 87th minute winner by Maeda, that was, with the VAR intervention for the offside and everything. Right call.
Very tight offside, right call. So tight.
So tight. But still, really feel for them because I think for me, they've been the better team. But well done to Martin O'Neill, who came back twice and turned things around in an incredible way. 8 wins in a row to finish the season for Celtic and the winners again for the 56th time, I think, in their history, or 59 of 56. Just incredible.
I mean, I talk about the imbalance of resources all the time, and because it bugs me, frankly. Obviously, in Scotland, it's been like this for a long time. When Aberdeen did it, by the way, that was an outlier because they were coached by one of the top 3 coaches of all time, a young man named, young at the time, Sir Alex Ferguson. They had this incredible team with Gordon Strachan and Joey Harper
the European
and whatever.
Cup win. I mean,
and they won Europe.
Not the big one, but yeah.
Yeah, but they won the Cup Winners' Cup in Europe. That was a legit team. That's what it took to break this. And then we nearly saw it this year. I'm not a Martin O'Neill guy, but you have to give him credit in these circumstances.
His age,
I don't think the game ever actually ended because there was a massive pitch invasion and some slightly ugly scenes at the end. But I guess due to the drama, maybe that was to be expected.
Gab, the wheels of justice are turning in the Southampton Middlesbrough Spygate case. The Times now report that if found guilty, there could be individual bans too.
Yeah, they're well. First of all, I guess they listened to us because I said you have to. If you come to a resolution, you need to move the playoff final to have a proper investigation. Move the freaking playoff final, and apparently they're open to that. They're also looking at filing individual charges, which they would use under the bringing game into disrepute kind of charge, and then you can charge individuals with that, and people who get in trouble there potentially. Your friend Tonda Eckert, former Genoa assistant Tonda Eckert, and Johannes Spors, who I believe is a sporting director there. There's a big FIFA president here from the Olympics, Jules. You were there covering them in Paris.
Yes.
Bev Priestman, who was the coach of Canada at the time, she was found guilty of using drones to spy on New Zealand, and she was banned for a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me, this is the same. There's no, except of being in a competition. It was before a match that was like a league match. Technically, it was. I know it was the playoff, but still, I don't see any difference.
So if you find out that this guy William Salt, if he doesn't stand tall, if he squeals and he says, "Yeah, Tonda told me to go and do this," would you be okay banning Tonda for a whole year?
Sure, and especially if on top of it, it's proven that it's not the first time they did it this season, like some clubs in the championship are saying.
I might also add, by the way, in terms of, it's not just this guy's an intern there, but for those who aren't familiar with geography in England, Middlesbrough is really, really, really far away from Southampton.
The other
So he
extreme.
wasn't just going for a drive
Yeah.
and then like, oh, look, I get thirsty. I pull over into the golf club. Oh, look, I happen to look over a training pitch. Oh, this is interesting. Let's be very clear on that.